Time now for sports on 104.7 The Cave. Here's Ned Reynolds.
Mike the intern, Ned Reynolds, talking long-winded emails this morning as the NFL opens up their business. Right before they kick off with league business today, there was the last official day of legal tampering, and we won't get back into that because that'll waste more time. But any other surprise moves that you saw yesterday?
Not really surprises as such, but I am a little curious. How often are the Chiefs going to go to Patrick Mahomes for a restructuring? This is only the third time they've done this. Well, that's the beauty of having a $500 million contract, because you can do some tricks with it, and Mahomes is a team guy, so he's willing to do that. The Chiefs went to him again for the third time now to restructure his contract to create room in the salary cap. Mike, I've said this before. This salary cap is bogus. You're never going to violate it. The NFL won't let you violate it. They'll work with you, and this is one of the ways they work with it. Anyway, the restructuring creates about $21 million in cap space, and the Chiefs think that they can utilize that rather well with free agents, some free agents, and so forth and so on. Nothing yet on L'Jarius Sneed, although I do think something probably is going to be forthcoming in the next couple of days. There are teams that have expressed interest in trading for him, but you want to get something for a trade. And with a $19 million, well, actually it's a $20 million franchise tag on him, other teams have to be very careful. Chiefs did sign a guy named Herb Smith. Now, he's not a real big-name tight end, but he's good, he's big, played at Alabama, and not everybody plays at Alabama. And indeed, this kid Smith, who the Chiefs got yesterday, he's from the Cincinnati Bengals. I think he'll be a big help, because the Chiefs do need some depth at tight end. Mm-hmm. You have, of course, Kelsey. He's going to be the anchor, and probably for another year. He's also 34 years old.
He's going to live forever, Ned.
No, he's not.
Stop it right there.
I can tell you that he's not going to live forever.
I want to ask you about the Sneed situation, though, because this is what I think is going on. You look at the teams that are interested in him, but those teams also have a very high pick in the first round, and they don't want to give that up, but we don't want to give him up for less. But so it's like we're having to find this room between where their pick is and basically what our bet is. So
and
we'll see.
Our bet. Now, let's not forget that now. What is our bet?
I say he gets a first round.
And I say he gets a second round, right?
But it'll make me really mad if they trade for like pick 38. Because that's a real high second round, Ned. But
well, keep in mind now, if they trade him, what they trade, and that's virtually $20 million more. And of course, you have the trade contract has to be honored as well. So it is more money, and Kansas City certainly does need that. Even with the $21 million of restructuring, that's not a whole hell of a lot. The Chiefs can get some work done on that, and Veach and company, they're pretty bright. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, man, it's going to start today and continue with the flurry of notifications. Missouri basketball, when they back out on the court?
Tonight. And will this be the last game? It will be if they lose, because they ain't going anywhere.
Yeah.
0-18 in the regular season in the Southeastern Conference, and this is the Southeastern Conference postseason tournament. Really, if you practiced some of the protocol from other conferences, Missouri wouldn't even be in it. But they don't. They allow everybody in, and Missouri at 0-18 will play Georgia tonight. Georgia's beatable. Missouri's capable of winning a game or two. They're not going to go to any tournament, but they do play tonight. Final game, Bridgestone Arena in Nashville. That's where the Nashville Predators play and where they hold very big basketball games as well. So that'll be interesting to see what the Tigers do. Do they go 0-19 or get that first conference win of the year?
Fingers crossed for you Tiger fans, but it's not looking too good. And the Missouri State Basketball Championships are this week. When does the first team compete?
10 o'clock this morning. It'll be the Marshfield Lady Jays, one of the legendary fabled teams in Missouri basketball lore. At one time, 102 straight victories and seven state championships. They take the court, the Lady Jays do, this morning against John Burroughs. It's a private school from St. Louis. In fact, both of the John Burroughs teams are in there, the men's and the women's. And the women play Marshfield this morning at 10. The winner goes on to the semifinals tomorrow. I beg your pardon, the championship tomorrow.
So, as we get closer and closer to opening day, health-wise, St. Louis Cardinals looking a little shaky right now.
Well, it's kind of a mixed bag at the moment, but you don't want to lose any of your pitchers. And they have Sonny Gray, who probably was going to be their stopper, although he's out with a hamstring injury, but it is getting better. Gray is 34 years old, one-time Vanderbilt All-America, and they being the trainers, have formulated the healing process to where it's coming along pretty well, and they think the Gray could be back in maybe a week and a half. But then there's the negative, and the negative is the Cardinals' prospective starting left fielder Lars Nootbaar, and somehow, some way, he's sustained several rib fractures, and it makes swinging the bat exceedingly painful. Now, there's really been no word as to how these rib fractures happened. Did he crash into the wall chasing a ball, or was there some kind of a concussive circumstance in his life? Nobody will say, but whatever it is, Nootbaar is probably sidelined for probably a week and a half, 2 weeks, until he can overcome the pain of swinging the bat when you have broken ribs. That's not real easy to do.
No, it is not, and if you've ever broken any rib or fractured a rib or even bruised a rib, you know how painful that is. So definitely some thoughts for him, man. It sucks. How did the baseball Bears at Missouri State make out yesterday?
Not very well, and it's interesting because the team they play, the St. Louis University Billikens, is the preseason favorite to win the Atlantic 10 Conference, and the Billikens are pretty good. The Bears did not play as great as they can yesterday. Lost the game 5-3 to St. Louis. Had chances, left runners on base. I think they stranded 8 runners on base. And, well, Billikens has some pretty good pitching, but the bottom line is this. The Bears could have won, didn't win, and they're continuing now with this 11-game road streak with a 3-game series. Where are they playing? Manhattan, Kansas.
Hey.
Playing the K-State Wildcats in 3 games, and that starts on Friday.
No, I want to MSU, but K-State's got my heart. I don't know. 2 of baseball's top pitchers are still floating around in the cosmos right now. Where do you think they're going to land?
Well, I think Blake Snell is probably leaning a little bit now toward his old team. He's the Cy Young Award winner in the National League. You think, my God, and he's still idle, hasn't gone to practice? Well, he's probably going to go back to the San Diego Padres because he and the other individual involved, who is a former Cardinal, Jordan Montgomery, are asking too much money.
Well, surprise.
There is a point to which you can ask in football and any sport in which the owners say, "Niet, we ain't paying that." Now, is that collusion? Well, probably, but how are you going to prove it? In the case of Snell, he wants a lot of money, probably not going to get it. He'll have to settle for less. His agent will put on some kind of a deal, and I suspect he ends up with the San Diego Padres again. In the case of Montgomery, he's been dangled before the Boston Red Sox, and somehow the deal keeps falling through. But be that as it may, Montgomery's a really good pitcher. He was with the Cardinals for half a season last year, was with the Texas Rangers, and he propelled them to winning the championship, winning the World Series. And we'll see just exactly how that morphs out. But, yeah, there's a point where you can ask for too much.
I mean, at the end of the day, they could always just go up north and play for Los Angeles, because it seems like the Dodgers don't care about how much money they're paying out.
They pay whatever.
Ned, you have a great day. I'll see you tomorrow.